Hello everyone, welcome to Umang Solutions Web Development Playlist. Today I am going to tell you about Git, what is Git and what are the repositories and how to do version control. Umang Solutions is a student community delivering knowledge on Android app development, HTML, like the web development and the Python programming. You can check out our videos in the playlist below. You can check out the links there in the description of this video. Okay, let's get started. Okay, now what is meant by Git? Okay, now I'm going to open my notepad and tell you what is meant by Git. See, Git is a version control. Please wait, I'll be changing my font size. It will be good for you. See, okay, Git means it's a version control. Version control is nothing but, for example, like in the previous video I have told you the first website, like you have developed the first .html and you have changed the colors in the background, right? Now what I am going to do is you will be adding that, like basic example of a Git means, like basic example of version control is nothing but, see, for example, there are apps in Play Store, right? We'll be getting some new updates, right? Updates is nothing but they will be fixing some bugs and they will be releasing some new features in the new updates. So Git is also like that. For example, when they will be creating a basic application, like basic application, they will be deploying into Git. Okay, and after on the basic application, like Git will be storing all the package, like all the code which you have written in your directly in your GitHub account. You can create your GitHub account for free. Okay, and all the code will be written, all the code will be stored in the your GitHub account. Okay, and other thing is, so if you, like for example, if you have encountered any problem in the next version, if you are going to develop, for example, I developed first.html and I am going to show you how to deploy it into the Git. Okay, for example, I have I have written some new code and I lost a previous code. For example, I have lost a first.html, but the first.html is required for me to run the previous code. I lost the code, I didn't found it in my PC. So that's come the use of Git. So you can use Git and you can like the download the code, like you thought of I mean there are Google Drive and other Gmail also. Yes, I accept, but Git is a totally, like every developer in world uses Git because Git is a version control system and many repositories are there. Like for example, if you want to learn new things and you can search new websites developed by different developers from Git itself. So and other thing is, if you can easily remote, you can work remote, like using it. For example, some person A is working on like the website. For example, I am working on first.html and the other person from different location is also working on first.html and will be working remotely. For example, I will be writing the code and pushing, I will be deploying the code into my repository, and the other person, which I will be adding collaborator. Like collaborator is nothing but he is also working on the same project which I am doing. So that's come the advantage, like both can work on the same project. For example, if you write the code there and he will be pushing it and I will be updating my project, automatically the code he have written will be updated in my system also. So that's the reason Git is very useful for us. Every web development, like web developer needs to know how to use Git and the features of Git. Okay, so Git is a version control system and we can create our own repositories. Okay, repository. Okay, like repository means there are two types of repository. Repository in terms, like in a nutshell, repository is nothing but a folder. Okay, folder. Like in Git we have two types of repository, like local repository and remote repository. Okay, the difference between local repository and remote repository means, so local repository means we'll be connecting our local folder. Like for example, I will be opening the folder like Umang web. See, Umang web is the folder, right? So I will be making this it as my local repository, means these are the local repository. For example, if I change my files anything, it will be shown here only. Like this is my local repository. For example, if I change my code here, it will not be visible to the other friend, like some other place. So it is only stored in the local. For and the remote repository means it's there in the name itself. Remote means, for example, if my if I type my code and push it to my repository, automatically. Remote repository means it can be accessed anywhere. For example, if you want to show our code, like if I want to show my code to other person, I will be giving my link. So Git will be generating our link. We will be soon making a playlist totally about Git, version control, each and everything. In this video, I will be consisting like I will be comprising only the Git for the web development, like what it needs for how to deploy our website into the Git. That's all. So remote repository, that means so it is a remote folder, it can be accessed anywhere. So that's all about the repository, like local repository and remote repository. And there are some keywords like commit and push. Okay, these are the main things which we use, and like remote like commit and push. Commit means nothing but commit means we'll be committing our changes. For example, I just developed my first .html, right? So I will be committing my changes. That means it is like a buffer. That means the whole computer, like the what I have changed, will be stored it as a buffer. And when you click on push, like when you type the command for push, automatically what does happen is automatically our changes, like the buffer, will be pushed into the repository directly, our Git repository. Okay, like in the practical you will be better understanding what is meant by commit and what is meant by push, and other keyword is also there like add. Okay, add is nothing but we'll be adding the files, that's all. Okay, now I'm going to show it to you practically. Before like I will be opening my GitHub account. Sorry, you can download a Git here, and installation procedure will be already, it is already discussed in our YouTube channel. I'll be sharing the link like github.com. Okay, this is my GitHub account. See, this is my GitHub account. Okay, now I'm going to create my new repository. Okay, I just told you about what repository means, just like a folder, and the repository name means web dev playlist. You can give any name. See, web dev playlist is available. Description, it's so like you can add or you can not add, it's your wish. Public, see, public and private. Public is nothing but, for example, I have created my repository like web dev playlist. Public means this repository will be accessed anywhere. Like for example, anywhere is not the thing. The correct thing is it will be open for public, so anyone like if anyone types web dev playlist, automatically this repository, my repository, will be indexed there. For example, if I keep private, only the repository will be shown to me. Okay, only. Okay, that's the difference between public and private. Anyone can anyone on the internet can see this repository. So that's the reason. And initialize repository with a readme file. Okay, what is meant by readme? Readme is nothing but it's a markdown file, that .md. It is shown. It is like stored in the .md file. I'll be shown like in a clear way readme file. What is meant by readme file means, for example, see, I have a readme file here. See, start bootstrap readme.md. Readme.md means markdown. So HTML means ML, like markup language. See, difference between markup language and markdown language is nothing but the tags written. Markdown language is vastly used. For example, if you want to show what the code is written in this backend, you can click on it like edit button. See, this is the code. See, this is written in hashes, that's all. So markup language and markdown language is different, totally different. There are some, like you couldn't add images, like you could add images, and some syntaxes are different, like for hash for the heading, double hash for some small heading. There are more accessibility when compared with HTML. Like markdown is only used for this like the stack overflow and these things only. So if you like readme.md is nothing but it will be telling you will be like, for example, if any person watches like see our repository by writing the code, like we'll be writing our information like this is the web development playlist, we are going to post all the things on web development here. For example, if you develop a new project, right? Okay, now so what you will be doing is in this readme.md file you will be writing everything, like what does this project means, and how this project is developed, and what are the technologies used for developing this project in this readme.md file. Okay, so when someone sees this repository, our readme file will be displayed here as I shown you here. This is some website developed by us. See, in the below our code will be displayed here, but by scrolling this readme file.md file will be shown the description of our project. Okay, so anyone can see like any copyrights or about like the team who are working on this project, they can be seen here. It will be soon like in the playlist only for Git we will be telling you all this what all this means. Okay, now like I don't want to have a readme file. If you have, you can add it. Git ignore and a license, like if you have any license you can add it here. Ignore means it is not necessary. Now I'm going to create my repository. Okay, create repository. Okay, now my remote repository is going to create. Okay, see let's click on it. Okay, now I am opening my repository. Like you can go to repositories, web dev playlist, updated 19 seconds ago. Just now I have created my repository, right? So that's the reason it is showing me like that. Okay, see what is showing, that it is a link. See https github.com/134 and web.playlist.git. So okay, now what I am going to do is I need to push my code here, right? So it is showing this default page like import code, like you can directly upload the code from a folder, but the best thing is you need to use commands. Okay, as I shown you before, as I shown in the previous, like you need to, while installing it, you will be installing the git command line also. This is the git bash. Okay, what I am going to do is navigate to my folder. See, this is my folder, right? Images first. Okay, like you can click, for example, if I want to download here, like you need to right click and you will be getting git bash here. Like clicking on the git bash here, automatically command line interface will be open. Okay, now see, it is asking my prompt. Okay, now I am going to type some command. What I am going to do is I am going to download my code, like from this git link. Okay, what the code is written in this repository, I am going to download. You will be thinking that I didn't have written any code. Okay, I am going to show you. Like I will be clicking on this, automatically the link will be copied. Now write some command git clone and shift ins, or else you can do one thing, it will be a good practice. Right click on paste. See, I am cloning the repository. Cloning is nothing but I am just copying, like I am just downloading directly from the Git. So, for example, you can, for example, if anyone gives you a link, clone link, you can type this command git clone and the link. Automatically, the code will be downloaded to your local system. And see, cloning into automatically web dev playlist folder will be created. Okay, you have to clone an empty repository. Yes, it gets right. See, since we have not any, since we don't have any code in that, so it is showing like, see, web dev playlist, no code is written here. What I am going to do is, I will be copying this file and I am going to paste it in the web dev playlist. See, it seems to be a folder itself, like see, web dev playlist, it seems to be a folder, but this is the local repository and our remote repository is this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, for example, if I refresh here, no code display here, right? Since it's an empty repository, now I'm going to push my these images and first into the local, like the remote repository. To use that, we need to use some commands also. What I'm like and the same thing, you need to come into your folder like the local repository, enter into your local repository and right click and enter git bash here. Okay, see my open, you can check like web dev playlist. I am in the like web dev playlist. Now I'm going to add my files like git add dot. Git add dot represents all the files, like all the files will be added into our like into the buffer. Okay, now I am going to write commit. Commit means yeah, I'll be showing it to what does commit means, like initial commit. Okay, see, git add means all the files will be added into buffer. Git commit minus m means we'll be committing our changes, like we are going to, like this is the final check, like I just added my code and I am committing my code. That means we will be giving assurance. Okay, minus m means message, Like for example, this is my initial commit, right, and this is my first commit. That means you can type any message here, like my name, or else you can add any message here, like this is my first code, this is my first version, like I just added first.html. You can type anything, like for example I am going to type initial commit, okay, and click on enter. See, automatically 3 files chain it will be detecting, like 3 files chain 10 insertions, since the local repository, like the remote repository, is empty. So what does git does is, for example, if there are any changes in a local repository, even if you have changed any space, like even if you have any space, automatically git recognizes. I'll be showing it to you later in this video also what about that. So see what you are saying, create more first.html. What it is doing is automatically these files are created in the buffer. Okay, 3 files changed, 3 files got changed. Now I'm going to push this code into the remote repository. So this is the main thing, git push. So I'm using the push command, origin and master. So git push origin master. Push means is the command, origin means we are telling this is the origin, and the master means the master branch. Okay, now I am going to click on enter. See, the whole code will be pushed, like it will be showing, like see it is asking me GitHub login. I have created my account, right? So I'll be logging into my account. Okay, you can use your email id, or else you can create your git account very easily. Nothing is required, just your email and password, that's all. Okay, I just entered. Now what does means, see, enumerating objects, some process will be done automatically. Total 6 objects get pushed into my local like the remote repository. This is ask me or like log into your account. That is because we need to have some authorization. For example, like someone gives you the link but you are not authorized to push the code. For example, you can download the code, you can see the code, you can view the code, anything you can do, like you can delete or change the code, anything. But if you push the code into that repository, what it does means the remote repository will get changed. So git has some security aspects, like we couldn't push, like for example, if you are not allowed, like if you are not the collaborator of the particular project, you couldn't push to the project. Okay, so that's the reason. Yes, okay, now it is showing that total 6 files got pushed to my remote repository. I'm going to check, see how it is accurate. I'm going to just click on refresh button. What it's going to see what are the files in my local repository has been sent to the remote repository. See, I am click on images. See, all the files will be loaded here. And like for your accessibility, you can see here just 3 minutes ago I just pushed my code. So even seconds also it will be shown, like just 35 seconds ago the code has been committed, in that way. Okay, so for example, if you want to, like if you want to pass this code to anyone, you can click on code and you can like copy the link and you can send to everyone. And using the same processor like below, like I have used the git clone command, right? So in the same processor they can also download your code. Okay, so that's all. I have completed our remote repository, so I'll be showing you. There is another command also, like git status. I'll be scrolling a bit. See, I'll git status. What does git status means? See, your branch is up to date with origin/master. Git status command is nothing but it is going to check our changes, like our local repository with the remote repository. For example, if you have added any message in a local repository, even any space in the text also, it will be automatically detected. So what this means is it will be checked whether the local repository remote repository is same. If there are any changes, automatically it will be shown here. So it is showing nothing to comment because both local and remote are same. So there is nothing. See, now I am going to change some changes here. I'll be closing all this. Okay, I just closed that. Sorry. Yeah. See, web dev playlist. Now I am going to open my Sublime and open this folder, web dev playlist. Okay, I just come to this folder like the local repository. I just come to my local repository. Now what I'm going to do is first.html is there, right? So I'm just keeping some space and Umang solutions like Vijag and control S. I'm just saving. That's all. I'm nothing doing. Just I have added some space and I Vijag. Okay. Same procedure. I'm going to log into my Git like Git Bash here, and I am checking like whether I have done any changes in my local repository, like both repository and local and remote are same or not. So I am just typing my command git status, enter. See, it is automatically got detected like your branch is up to date with origin master, changes not stays for commit. See, modified first.html. I just changed my first.html file means, so that's the reason it got changed. Like some changes is there, you change first.html. So again I need to commit like git. Say this is the same. Every time you need to remember, for example, if you want to push any code into the git, you need to type first git add dot automatically the all files dot represents all files need to be added. Okay, all files have added. Git add dot of the git commit. I'm going to give some message like changed first.html. You can give anything here. Okay, it's your wish and enter. Automatically buffer will be added like one file change, one insertion, one deletion. Okay, all the changes will be detected directly from here. Now I'm going to I'm just going to okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push. First step is we need to add, and the second step is we need to commit giving some message, and the final step is git push origin master. Now in this command, using this command, we'll be connecting, like we'll be pushing our local repository code to the remote repository. Okay, see, successful. So our local repository got changed to like our local repository code is sent to public repository like remote repository. You can check whether the commit is successful or not from here. I'm clicking on reload button. See how accurate is. So it is showing 1 minute ago. 1 minute ago I just committed, and it is showing the number of commits. So 2 commits. I just completed my 2 commits. Means it is the first commit, right? In the initial commit, our files, like my files are written in this format. Like I have this only this. For example, in the second commit, what I have done in the second commit means I just changed something. Like I have just added. So see, automatically it is showing on the left side is the previous commit showing one change file. Means here in the previous commit I have only have Umang solutions here, but on the right side I have Umang solutions like parenthesis and Vijag, like the pipe symbol and Vijag. So it is showing you have changed something. Like see here it is only showing for one file, but if you have multiple files got changed, it will be shown here also. Okay, so for example, after writing some code here, I just lost my old code. Like old code is working perfectly, but I changed some changes. My new code is not working. So I can navigate to here, and I can check whether what is the old code, and I can type the old code again. So that is the main advantage of Git. Okay. So Git is very useful. So every web developer needs to know about Git. So okay, that's all about the video. Thanks guys. See you.